while Centralist forces attacked the San Antonio River outpost. General Sam Houston was far away in Washington City on the Brazos. Here, on March 1st, 1836, Richard Ellis gavelled the convention at Washington City to order. That same night, 32 men from Gonzales rode into the Alamo. Colonel William Travis welcomed the help, slight as it was, but wondered who else was coming. In Bear, atop the tower of the Church of San Fernando, fluttered a red flag. The Texian defenders could expect no mercy from the enemy. On the following day, in Washington City, the Assembly of Men gathered and voted to declare independence. On March 3rd, they signed the document, backdating it to March 2nd in honor of Sam Houston's birthday. The Texas issue and the cause of the rebellion had been resolved. This fight was no longer about Mexican federalism and national politics. It was about creating a new nation altogether. The men who declared Texas independent were an unlikely bunch of revolutionaries. On average, these men were about 40 years old, with the youngest in his early 20s and the oldest in his 70s. Most were men entering middle age, most of them with families and obligations. They were mostly Southerners, but a handful came from Pennsylvania, New York, and Massachusetts. Others hailed from places like Ireland, England, Canada, and Central and Eastern European countries. A few held enslaved people as property, but the overwhelming majority did not. Many were farmers, but there were as many merchants, land speculators, lawyers, and doctors as there were plowmen. Some were natives of Mexico, and like their compatriots born elsewhere, opposed tyranny. Francisco Ruiz and his nephew, Jose Antonio Navarro, were from Bear, now a battlefield in this struggle for independence. Lorenzo de Zavala was the distinguished politician and diplomat from Yucatan. Liberty transcended national borders and nativity, and they had hoped to see it thrive in Mexico. Now, they'd given up on their native land and cast their fates with these Americans. This collection of risk-takers announced the creation of a new nation, the Republic of Texas. The question that hung in the air that day was, what kind of country would it be? Fighting for the Constitution of 1824 would never have been enough to sustain the rebellion. Texas needed to be independent if it would ever realize its full destiny. Tejanos, both Mexican and American, or foreign-born, were declaring at long last that they were a people apart. They really always had been. Now, the politics of Mexico no longer mattered. The Republic of Texas did. When word eventually reached New Orleans, Stephen F. Austin welcomed the news. For Mexican Federalists in that same American city, this was the outcome they had feared all along. Texas had seceded. Their country, Mexico, was being dismembered. For the men trapped at the Alamo, none of this mattered. James Butler Bonham had slipped past the besieging Centralist army to bring bad news. Bannon was still at Goliad. Meanwhile, General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna received reinforcements. The Texian defenders were now outnumbered 186 to 2,400. The Centralists also had 10 cannon, which pounded the Alamo daily. On March 3, 1836, Colonel William Barrett Travis penned yet another letter to the provisional government, begging them to settle their differences and send help. Then he waited.